Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to start up for 2024 with actually a reaction video. So I wanted to actually talk about this person for a very long time. You know me, as you have watched through my channel, I'm not this woke ass person that a lot of people would assume just based on my appearance, but I wanted to actually talk about somebody that legitimately concerns me because not only is this person woke, but this person is legitimately a predator. This person is not like straight up, you know, as far as we know, molesting children or anything as far as we know, but it is very concerning because the person we're going to talk about is Jeffrey Marsh. Yes, that Jeffrey Marsh. Now, if you've been living under a rock for some reason, I'll tell you briefly about Jeffrey Marsh. Jeffrey Marsh is this weird ass guy who goes by they, them, non-binary, which I'm not going to take seriously, to be honest with you, because this is somebody, like, listen, I'm just now starting, you know, to start accept a little bit on the non-binary group of people, but this is a bad luck on them, I will definitely say, because not all people who are non-binary are this fucking weird. Jeffrey Marsh, like, advises kids, yes, kids, that if they don't have a loving family, to go no contact with them. This is very alarming. You will see plenty of Twitter posts and other posts calling this guy out. In fact, one woman actually called this guy out for wanting him to talk to the kids about going no contact with their family. She called this guy out so much that she actually got harassed in real life, and a lot of shit has happened with her where her family was being doxxed, including herself, where her photos of her without her hijab was being exposed online.
Stop telling trans people that we're inspirational.
Stop telling kids to go on your Patreon and chat to you privately without their parents knowing.
So that we can talk to each other in a way that's more open and stuff that we would share like in the comments of a video like this.
This is Jeffrey Marsh's Patreon. You talk about this topic with kids. Now here are just some of the signs of grooming. Literally one of the first ones. Gaining access and isolating the victim. Asking them privately to go on Patreon.
Stop telling kids to go on your Patreon and chat to you privately.
Those of you who are threatening because you are
So I just got an email saying, pretty much a threat, saying they know where I live. And what scares me the most is they have got my daughter's details on the email, like what time I leave to drop them to school, pick them up. As some of you might know that my car was damaged in this whole thing.
Yeah, I do not condone this at all. This is really fucked up. So his fan base is really fucked up too. So it's not just him. There's plenty of videos talking about him, and I will definitely leave the link down to the description below with great videos talking against this guy, because he's not somebody who's just lumping in the LGBT community part of it, even though he shouldn't be with how awful he actually is. But he also has this like very calm, like, I want to talk to the kids and you're all love and wanted and you should go no contact, like with this kind of voice and attitude he goes with all the time, even though he's actually a really, really predatory and awful person. And I do not condone anything what Jeffrey Marsh does. We're gonna actually watch a video of his on his YouTube channel. Yeah, this guy actually has a YouTube channel. I'm just gonna say what I think Jeffrey Marsh is, and before people start commenting below that I'm being a bigot or whatnot, this person right here is a horrible look on the LGBTQ community. I will say it right here, and there's plenty of people in the LGBTQ community have called this guy out before that aren't woke and that aren't following his line of way of thinking. Especially with the organization Gays Against Groomers have definitely called this guy out for right reasons. So yeah, I will definitely leave their Twitter down in the description below too, because I think they made a great point on a lot of posts against him too. But anyways, let's go watch one of his trash videos called The Signs of Childhood Trauma in Your Adult Life. Oh boy, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Knowing Jeffrey Marsh, he's probably going to make everything so black and white and saying all the bullshit he normally does. So let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey. Do you have childhood trauma? Did you have childhood trauma? Let's discuss, because you are important.
Okay, start off with the video right here. I never mentioned this earlier, but I really cannot stand his mannerisms, how he is too nice and like barely blinks and always talks like, did you have childhood trauma? It creeps me out. Am I the only one that feels this way? This is not starting off good, guys. I'm scared.
So the biggest way to know that you've had childhood trauma, and this may seem like a completely obvious answer, but it's something almost nobody thinks about, and it's if the algorithm feeds you videos like this one. If you're scrolling through your TikTok, if you're on the Facebook, if you're in the Insta Reels, and you keep getting fed videos of people talking about how difficult it was to grow up, the ways that they heal from their difficult childhood, if video after video is, as we say, reading you for filth, that's probably your biggest clue. Sometimes, for a lot of people, the algorithm in the sky knows more and knows better before we do.
Okay, you know, normally I would agree with this, but this is coming from somebody who has been known to say things that children to go no contact and support his Patreon secretly without their parents knowing about it. No, I'm not kidding. This is the same person that said that. And also, dude, this is social media. You know, yes, we are aware that people have trauma in the past. I've had trauma in the past before, and they're just some things I just don't want to talk about online, and that's fine. But here's my question to you, Mr. Jeffrey Marsh. Why are you telling this to us that we already kind of know? I mean, we're not that stupid. Now, granted, we know you're saying this to a very young audience. I mean, it's not just the adults you're talking to about this video. There's children that are clicking on this as well. My point here is that you're not making things better by kind of contributing that yourself too. I mean, we know it gets a bunch of clicks when we see your videos all the time, you fucking freak. And yes, we even get manipulated to what we think it is on us, you know, even as adults. But you kind of mentioning that doesn't make your argument much better, considering you're manipulating the people like this yourself with your platform, especially here on YouTube or whatever, Instagram, especially TikTok. Oh my God, I could probably make a whole video why I will never make a TikTok account, but that is a cesspool hell over there. But let's move on.
I spent years thinking, oh, my childhood was okay. It was fine. It was okay. It was fine. My dad would like beat me up for being LGBTQ, but I was okay. He was trying his bestest. There's this pathological need for some of us to think back and to not deal with stuff, right? And to assume that our childhood was okay. And for most of us, it was not okay.
But here's the problem, Jeffrey. They're not always you, okay? Not everyone has discriminatory parents who are against the LGBTQ community, who is against their kid being part of the community. Not everybody has that experience. And I'm sorry, that sucks for you. I don't wish that for anybody to have very bigoted family members who are against them for being gay or lesbian or bi or transgender. I have no respect for those people. I want to make that very clear. But not everybody has the exact same experience as you on that. Some people have never been beaten up at all, have never actually probably had almost a perfect childhood. Not completely perfect, but actually had a pretty decent childhood. I would say probably the best example that is supportive of the LGBTQ community and has actually had a childhood that was actually really awesome was actually one of my closest friends since I've known since kindergarten, actually. And she's a great mother, and she's just actually expecting her second child with her husband that she has been with since high school. It's literally her high school sweetheart. I know it's not everybody's experience, but you can't just dwindle in and lump your experience and think, oh yeah, everybody experiences the exact same thing as I did. No, that's like if I did that because I was being verbally abused growing up by certain people who were complete ableist and were just complete assholes because I have autism. That doesn't mean that's everybody else's experience, so let's not lump it in. And that's what a lot of these woke folks love to do, is that a lot of these extremists, and it's not even just woke folks, but any extremists, whether it's conservatives or liberals that are this extreme, they love to lump in and say, well, you're experiencing that, and you're experiencing this and that because it happened to me. No, let's be realistic. Everybody's experience is different, whether you want to admit that or not.
You are not alone. If you read a book like The Body Keeps the Score and you look at the stats, a lot of people, most people, have suffered from some form of childhood trauma that they'll need to work through and deal with.
Again, I would mostly agree with that if it wasn't coming from somebody who literally wants to talk to kids privately without their family knowing it on a Patreon page. Do I really need to go through this again? Yes, I am aware everybody has suffered some sort of trauma, whether it's getting bullied or losing their job even. Like, even something as small as that, I get it. Everybody has suffered some sort of trauma, and especially growing up as a kid, whether, you had a sibling that was horrible to you, whether, you lost your dog even, or a cat. I don't know. Everybody has had some sort of trauma as a childhood, but does that mean that equals as being abused or had a horrible childhood in every way? No. Like I have said before, you can't just lump in your experience and think, oh yeah, everybody else has experienced the same thing as me. No. Again, it's coming off as somebody who's trying to manipulate me and others as, oh, well, you've experienced all this trauma, so let me teach you about this even though you're freaked out by me. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. And majority of people do not want this who is intelligent enough not to even go close to you. And from the way Jeffrey Marsh talks is very, how do I quite put this? Is he talks so sweet to you, but the skeletons in the closet is very much going to open up eventually. And again, people have talked about this with him, and it scares me to know what else is he hiding.
So I'll leave you with one hot tip. Your emotions are too big. That's another telltale sign. Something happens, the person at Starbucks spells your name wrong on the cup, and you go absolutely rage-filled ballistic. When the emotion is too big for the situation, that's going to give you something to look at, and something to remember back to, and something to speak to a professional about.
Okay, listen, I've had my first name spelled wrong on a Starbucks cup myself too. Yeah, believe it or not, there's still some people out there that think I don't have an I in the middle of my name. And do I get overblown like, that's not how you spell my name, you spelled it wrong? No. And listen, I probably would have acted this way if I was even remotely like these extremists, like at all, if I even stuck by what their ideology is, but I'm not. I've even had my last name spelled wrong so many times. I can tell you stories that even like the principal, teachers, students, and doctors even have gotten saying my last name wrong. Does that mean I'm gonna get out there and offended by that immediately? No, I just corrected them and say, actually my last name is Hebert, Hebert. I'm not gonna go out there and spurt it out emotionally like that. Maybe it's just because I was raised to not get so emotionally impulsive to people who don't even know me. I had to explain things to people. It's funny that Jeffrey Marsh is saying that, which I'm guessing when the camera is not rolling, he definitely acts like that. Like the opposite of what he doesn't want people to act like, which is really ironic right there, as has been so upset with people calling him a predator. He had fans of his harassing others to dox them and all that. So he's really not one to be talked to.
I certainly hope this helps. You are important.
No, none of that helped at all. And no, it's funny that he's saying that you are special. And no, listen, you're special in your own way, but you're not special all the fucking time, okay? Let's be realistic. There's gonna be days where it's not about you, and it's gonna be about somebody else or a different issue. You cannot make everything about yourself, because if you do, that makes you a fucking narcissist. And I'm no professional psychologist, but usually when people make it about themselves like that, they are usually considered a narcissist, and they can't experience things unless it happens to themselves, which kind of says a lot about Jeffrey Marsh. And that's actually the nicest way to put Jeffrey, is that, yeah, he's a narcissist, but I also think he's a sociopathic predator too, because literally he's telling minors to go no contact. But again, there's videos about that. Oh god, this video sucked. No, did not help at all. Yeah, it's the same bullshit he spews out all the time. So what do you guys think? I know this is a much more shorter reaction than you guys expected, but it's videos like this. I think this pissed me off, even though I'm not screaming or yelling, but I think this probably pisses me off more than what Milo Stewart is doing, because, wow, like, at least when Milo Stewart is being told to shut the fuck up and, and leave people alone, at least they are at least trying to kind of actually leave others alone when they don't want to. Jeffrey Marsh is not one of them. And yeah, as awful as Milo and Jeffrey is, I think Jeffrey's a lot worse, personally, because he's literally contacting minors, like I said, to go no contact. I've said this plenty of times. Is even told to not even talk to their family. Like, yes, I get it. There are kids that don't have supportive families, but that doesn't mean you can't talk to them. I mean, there's definitely other routes to go to now than what it used to be. But what do you guys think? And anyways, if you guys want me to talk more about Jeffrey Marsh, I'm actually maybe planning on to. I'm actually gonna be working on another video that was more serious, that actually happened in my home state in Iowa, that I wanted to talk about, that recently happened not too long ago this month. If you guys like this video, give it a like. If you like my content, don't be afraid to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to share any of my videos, go right ahead. And I got my art shops and my social media down in my link tree. That's also down below too. Anyways, guys, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope 2024 is doing well for you so far. Peace.